Like, do I have an interest in chinchillas? Yes. But would I ever get one? Probably not, because I don't know how to care for one because I didn't grow up with one.
An interest in chinchillas.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that about you, but that's pretty funny to hear you say
I always
it.
wanted one. Welcome to Life Unleashed,
The podcast all about creating the best life for you and your furry best friend.
If you're a dog mom on the go, juggling life, work, and the endless joys of being a dog parent, then you're in the right place. I'm Dani.
And I'm Nick.
And together with the incredible dog mom community from Tails Up Pup, we're here to share advice, stories, and the obsession we have over the love for our dogs.
Get ready to laugh, learn, and lean on each other because life with your dog just got even more awesome.
Welcome back to the Life Unleashed podcast. We live a life on social media every single day. We absolutely love it. It's definitely my favorite part. I was going to say probably both of ours, but I'll let you speak for yourself.
It's very cool to be able to look back on so many of the memories because like all this stuff is just like saved for future memes.
Yeah, my two favorite things are the memories of looking back, so then you can see how far you've come, what you have accomplished. People always say, like, I would do that, but I'm not comfortable on camera, and I can show them clips from 5 years ago, how awkward I was, and it just takes practice, and now I do it every single day for years on end. So, of course, I've gotten better over time, but also the community aspect of getting to know people. And even literally yesterday at the gym, someone came up to me and recognized me and said she loves following our stories, and things like that are so cool because I would have never known her. She would have never known me. And to have that relationship instantly connect us, even at a gym situation, was super cool. So I just love the community aspect as well. But I was going to lead into saying that with that comes lots of questions. So we are going to be answering our most frequently asked questions at Tails Up Pup.
I'm going to be the questioner for today.
The questioner. Thank you, Mr. Questioner.
I'm going to be the questioner. And so first up, Dani, can you tell us a story behind the name Tails Up Pup and how the business came to be?
Coming up with our name was the most difficult thing in the beginning. Little did I know all of the business things that we would have to get into, but coming up with the name was really the first thing. We said we wanted to sell dog bandanas, and what were we going to name this business? So I had a bunch of names that I came up with. I will say that I feel like I'm pretty good at naming companies. I've named quite a few for friends and family, and I do love our name. Looking back, now that I've done it for 5 years, would I change our name?
What is about to happen right now? What are you about to say?
Okay, I don't know.
You want to change our name?
I love Tails Up Pup. I'm going to get to how I named it. But it is who we are, and I absolutely love it. But the biggest thing that I don't know if the word pisses me off is what I should use, but it does, is people cannot say it. Why does the comma throw everyone off?
This is shocking news.
The comma throws everyone off. They either say tails up or they just say something so off. They don't even use the right letters in the words. They just say tails pup. Where did the up go?
Danielle is right. For some reason, people lose the ability to speak English or read whenever they read our name for the first time.
I'm not to hate on the old people, but a lot of times they're over 50 years old. I don't know if they forget what the comma does, if they just think that it totally nixes the ending of it. A lot of times people just say tails up, and that one's more understandable. But when they get into these random things of putting words in there that aren't there, I'm like, what is going on?
We've gotten our fair number of Tails Pup.
Tails Pup. And I'm like, what happened to the middle? You said not today. Okay. How did we come up with the name Tails Up Pup? My thing was something fun, something catchy, and something that people would remember. And so...
Well, we wanted a phrase if we could.
Yes. And obviously dogs was the big thing. So we were trying to use the word dogs, and dogs and pup go interchangeably in my mind. And I am a big rhymer. If you haven't watched any of our fun TikToks and Reels, we write these raps. We do lots of fun things. It's always been in my nature to rhyme things. So Tails Up Pup rolled off the tongue, and everyone knows that when a dog is happy, they put their tails up in the air. So Tails Up made sense. We are happy. We are fun. We are trying to brighten people's days. And whether that's with the stories, with the products, with the pictures and the memories, I feel like it encapsulated everything that we wanted to be of being happy and upbeat, and Tails Up Pup just really fit the vibe.
The really cool thing about the name is if you followed us on YouTube, we literally have the time when we were in a car going to visit my sister trying to come up with names. And that was pretty much when the name like had its birth, right?
Yeah, I believe so. That was definitely when we went through the list of names that I had. And the only one I can remember right now was the Pretty Pup Boutique. And I'm glad I didn't choose that one. I just feel like would I rename us now? No. I mean, Tails Up Pup is who we are. It's to our core, and it's still everything that encapsulates who we want to be, happy and upbeat. So I still stand by it. I hate that people can't say it.
Yeah, me too. Okay, next question. What inspired you to start a business in the pet industry, specifically focusing on dogs?
Well, both of us, Nick and I, have grown up with dogs our entire life. Both of our parents loved their dogs like their children. So we grew up knowing that was normal to us. These dogs weren't just living outside, weren't just working dogs. They were part of our family. We were bringing them places. We were doing things with them, and they were our family. So when we got married, we of course got our dogs, and
it wasn't even a question that we were going to do that.
Yeah, you grew up with cats too, but
not grew up. That came later.
Okay.
We're a dog family.
We're a dog family. We grew up in dog families, and so you just pick what's natural to what you know.
Yeah, nothing against the cats out there or any other pets.
Like, do I have an interest in chinchillas? Yes, but would I ever get one? Probably not, because I don't know how to care for one because I didn't grow up with one.
An interest in chinchillas.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that about you, but that's pretty funny to hear you say
I always
it.
wanted one. But same thing with like guinea pigs. Like, I didn't grow up with one, so getting one now would be more fearful. It's easy to stick with what you know, and dogs was that. So, I mean, our life just naturally was having a dog, and our dogs becoming our children as well, especially since we don't have children. They are our children. We're going to spend our money on them. We're going to take them on the trips. We're going to do everything with our dogs. And that just is who we were. Starting the business came with wanting to dress them up for the football season, for family photos, all the cute memories. I have always been an Instagram girly. I've always been a photo girly. And I get that from my dad. He had a camera everywhere. I have so many cameras. It's actually really cool to look back and see how far camera technology has come. And all the cameras that I had in my personal life, I always had the camera, and I have photos from everything. And so incorporating that into my business was it just happened because that's who I was. I was the dog girl. I was the photo girl. I wanted the cute photo with my dog, and my dog couldn't be naked, so had to dress her up. And then that kind of just led into making dog bandanas, and now we're here. It is so crazy.
I feel like you did a really good job answering the like why dogs, why the Tails Up Pup business, but why start a business at all?
Why start a business at all? Honestly, it was not on my radar, but if you look back at my life, it does make sense. I've always sold things like on the street. I was making
Whoa.
Okay.
I've always sold things on the street. Quote that, everyone. This is Danielle out there.
Lemonade stands are on the street. Okay, literally, core memory was my friend and I were on the corner of the street. We made clay animals. We made enough money to buy one of those vehicles, like battery things that you usually have when you're 6, but we were probably 10 and way too big.
You mean like a little car?
Like a Barbie Jeep, but it was like a Corvette. We thought we were so cool. We wanted to get this Corvette. I don't think we would have fit in it. We never got it. We had enough money.
You made enough money to buy a baby Barbie
But
Corvette.
by the time that we were going to purchase it, we were like, we're too old for this. Let's just keep the money. But yeah, I was always a businesswoman, and I always wanted the cash register as a toy, and I always wanted to play store. So it does make sense, but it was never on my radar. I kind of wish I would have used my life journey to understand that I would get there, because then maybe I would have done a different degree or done more education in a realm that may have helped me more. But I mean, you are the star of educating yourself still, and you're reading, even though you don't have a degree in like entrepreneurship or anything like that, which there are degrees in that, which is very, very cool. Nick doesn't have that, but he chooses to read the books now to educate himself, and you basically have a self-diagnosed degree.
Self-diagnosed. Well, I'm kind of the same thing. When I look back, I'm like, there's all these little hints. It's like, yeah, you will be a business owner. And I have friends and family that tell me, oh, that we saw that all along. But going up, I clearly didn't think that, or else I would have like gotten a degree in that or something that was very specific to owning a business. But I didn't.
At the time going to college, like owning a business seemed so unattainable because you think you have to be old and
have like a ton of money to do it.
Yeah, so that definitely wasn't on my radar. And honestly, a degree in entrepreneurship kind of sounded boring if I would have thought about it. So I thought marketing sounded fun. But honestly, a degree in entrepreneurship would have been really cool.
I think the timing in our life just worked out really well to where we were at a crossroads wondering what we're going to do for work. And it just so happened that maybe we should start a business and just try it out. It really was just a let's try and see. There wasn't this master plan of creating Tails Up Pup of what it is today. It just happened along the way.
And would I have done this without you as my partner? No. I think that it would be so hard. I wouldn't have been motivated. I wouldn't have had the person to push me to do new things and to actually go get the sewing machine and to post on the stories every day. Like Nick was my cheerleader, so I don't think I would have been able to do it. I don't think I would have had the interest in doing it without you.
Yeah, we complement each other in a lot of ways, and that's definitely one of them. Okay, next question. Can you describe some of the unique services or programs that your business provides for dogs and their owners?
What really sets Tails Up Pup apart from other dog businesses out there are that we are not just a dog shop, we are a dog mom shop, and that we have things for both dogs and dog moms to help create and more well establish that bond that you have with your dog. Again, taking those photos, having those memories, going to the dog park and having some conversation piece to then make a new friend who may have a similar interest. It's literally as simple as a dog bandana. If you put it on your dog and you go out, someone who also thinks that pattern's cute or that bandana makes your dog look cute is going to come talk to you, and now you already have a common interest when they might have never talked to you beforehand. And that's what we're all about, creating relationships, finding other people who have similar interests in you. So it's community, it is dog mom bonding, it is all the things, the memories, and everything in between. And
you know what's so unique about that is we started as a dog shop, but just through the evolution of Tails Up Pup, we became a dog mom shop. And I think that was because you literally are like our target customer, the person and you wanted to have the clothing that either coordinated or like have an embroidered sweatshirt with your dog's name on it, all of that type of stuff. And it's like, well, maybe there's other people out there that want this, and voila, that's Tails Up Pup now, the dog mom shop. Okay, next question. What challenges have you faced as business owners in the pet industry, and how are you overcoming them?
Literally so many challenges. I feel like every day there's something happening, whether it's a minor challenge or a big challenge. And it is really crazy to look back, but a lot of times we have these memories that because we're filming all the happiness and all of the fun times, we rarely ever film the challenges. So it's sometimes even hard to remember how far we've come in some of these things. Obviously, some things like spending money on investing in too much of a product that we've never sold before and ends up not doing well, or thinking a pattern is really cute for a bandana and overbuying fabric. Those kind of challenges are definitely things, because like then what do you do with it and how do you make your money back after you spend a ton of money? A big thing is people asking if we're going to do other animal products, and specifically the biggest one is cats, because it's the closest thing to dogs. And do cats wear our products? Yes, all the time we see cats in our bandanas, and they can absolutely wear them. While we're called Tails Up Pup, it doesn't mean that you cannot put it on your cat. But would we evolve into having cat toys and other cat products? I just don't see it happening, because I don't think people understand how big of an investment and time it would take to do something like that. It's not as easy as thinking, oh, just go buy one of those wands that your cat jumps around with. You have to do so much, and then you have to market to a whole new community. So the challenges of not being able to satisfy everyone is definitely really hard, because I want everyone to feel happy and feel included. And when maybe someone only has a cat and they don't feel like they can buy something from us, I will say they are a little wrong though, because we do have the bandanas, and a lot of our embroidery has the cat mom options as well. And if you ever have something custom that we can make, we are able to do that. But investing in specific products, I don't see that happening. And then, I mean, right now, just the challenges of the economy changing, going through COVID, and now basically on the other side coming out. I mean, it is always a challenge to overcome things that are happening in the world, and literally with those challenges, you don't have any control over them, which makes them the hardest. You know, when COVID happened, we were moving into this office and it was like, what's going to happen? Are we even going to be able to drive to the office? I remember that the world shutting down and maybe you're not able to leave your house. And we just invested in this office space. And that was a crazy time to be alive. But we've made it on the other side. We still are growing, which is a really cool thing. But Nick, do you have anything? I mean, I'm sure you have some challenges that you feel that I did not talk about.
Literally every single day is some type of challenge or problem. And that has been like since the very beginning of like starting a business. Business is, you know, solving problems and overcoming challenges. And yeah, is whether it's like your daily challenge or, you know, of like, how are we going to solve this specific problem today of like, we don't have enough thread. How are we going to deal with that? Or, you know, we can't get this fabric, or we overbought something. These are all just challenge, or we need to hire people. How do you go about doing that? These are all problems and challenges, and it's just one after another, and they never stop. And I don't anticipate them to stop at any point. I really feel like one of the hard things is every year I feel like we have to reinvent ourselves in some way. And that's just really difficult every year to come up with like, okay, what are we going to do different this year? How are we going to reinvent ourselves while still maintaining like our core beliefs and what we, you know, strive and believe in as a company?
And another challenge that I feel like we faced with multiple times, we have been faced with, is people copying or even stealing things from us. That boils my blood. It makes me so mad, especially when we've worked on something for a long time and it's like ours, and then someone just tries to claim it as their own. Luckily, there are lots of legality things that we know now that we can use, but someone has even stolen our logo and tried to claim it as theirs. So all of those things are not fun to deal with, but you definitely learn over time how to create something that someone can't copy or to differentiate yours in a different way and those type of things.
And it is frustrating when people copy you, but it is a very sincere form of flattery because you're like, well, if they're copying us, they must think we're doing something good.
Okay.
Okay, next question. Can you provide some tips or advice for dog owners on maintaining a healthy and happy relationship with their pets?
I would say the biggest thing that I've been thinking about recently is finding ways to make your life easier and better. Dogs can be a handful. They are time consuming. They have energy. You have to spend money on them. So finding things that make it easier for you. So for example, if your dog is high energy, like mine, even my golden is very high energy, but the border collies are a different breed. So high energy. We could run her forever and feel like she could just keep on running. And so we have found that a lot of times if we give her a puzzle or nose work, it is very efficient in helping tire her out in a different way that doesn't involve us. It involves us to set it up, but then she's on her own and then we can do something else and she is busy and she's going to be tired and she's going to go take a nap after. So I would say finding puzzles, lick mats, even the topple feeders, things like that. You can put, if you just feed your dog kibble and you put it in a topple feeder, it will take them, how long do you think it takes them? Like 45 minutes to finish their dinner instead of like 2 seconds, and it tires them out. So those type of things are definitely life-changing to us. More recently, we are bringing products like that in 2024 to Tails Up Pup. So if you don't know where to start, we got you covered very shortly. I'm very excited about all the things that we have coming because, again, they're things that we have been using that have changed our life, and I want to help you better your life as well.
One thing I have is putting something on your schedule every week to get your dogs out in nature. Find some type of park where, you know, a national park, whatever you got close to you, just a nature trail, and go walk with them. But you have to have it in your schedule, because if you put it in your schedule, or if you're the type of person like I am, if it's in my schedule, I'm going to do it. And so at least once a week, the dogs and I are going to our local park and we're going on a hike. It's good for me. It's good for all people to get out and move your body, to be in nature. And of course, it's very good for your dogs. And then when you guys are doing it together, that is like the best form of bonding, and it's just a really good time. You might feel like it's hard to fit that in your schedule, but even if it's just for 20 or 30 minutes, it is going to be so worth it. And I I love that. I can't speak highly enough about making sure you spend the time to do that.
I actually just saw a TikTok about basically taking your dogs out, and the most top rated comment was crying in reactive dog. So I'm like, oh my gosh, that is us, because Holly is a reactive dog. But that doesn't mean that you can't go out in nature, you can't go do things. You have to learn how to basically deal with your dog. Also, there are coping mechanisms, training, things like that. Lizzie from Positive Vibes Training, who was on here, she is actually a specialist in reactive dogs. So you can definitely hire someone to help you. But if you don't have the time or money to do that right now, learn what works for your dog. It might be a specific leash, a specific collar, a specific place that you go where there's more space and less people.
Yeah, that's a big thing that I do. I make sure I take them on a place where I know we're going to run into kind of the least amount of people and dogs, and that just works better for Holly.
I would never take Holly to a dog park, and I know that that is her limit. She would not do well there, and I would be setting her up for failure. But we can take her to the park on a leash where it's less populated, and she does fine. So just find things that work for your dog and for your situation, and know that you don't have to be held up in your house with your dog if they are reactive. There are things that you can do, and if you don't feel comfortable in leaving, then you can find things like the puzzles and things to keep your dog active and entertained.
And of course, we believe your dogs are like people, and so I'm sure you know your dogs really love certain things. Our dogs love swimming, and so while we can't take them swimming every week, we try to make a point at least maybe once a month or once every other month to go to a lake or go to a pool or something and let them have some swim time. That stuff is just always so fun, and if you, again, put it in your schedule, you'll make it happen.
More tips on having a happy relationship with your dog as a dog mom. I would say make the most of the time you have. We know that our dogs aren't going to live forever. So if you want to take them to the beach, if you want to go to the dog park, if you want to go to the coffee shop, just do it. If there's some kind of fear of like not wanting to go by yourself or not sure like where to stay with them, know that it is possible, and you're going to look back and be sad that you didn't do it when you could. So I just say go for it, figure it out, watch a YouTube video on how to do something, bake them the cake, do all the fun things. If you're seeing these TikToks of people and you're like, oh, I wish I could do that, know that you can do it and that you should do it so that you don't regret it later, because our dogs will not be here forever. And I mean, you just got to give them the best life that you can.
No, I think that's such a good point. Like, one of the big reasons that we go to Pensacola Beach is because Pensacola Beach has a really nice dog beach that is very accessible, and it would be so easy for us to say, okay, let's, Danielle and I go on a beach trip or whatever and not bring the dogs. Of course, is that easier? Well, yes. But is it as fun? Absolutely not. It's more fun for us. It's more fun for the dogs, and they're not going to be around forever. And so those are core lasting memories that I'm going to have with them.
The last thing I have about living a healthier lifestyle is food and the food that you're feeding your dogs. There is so much information out there. So just educate yourself on the breed that you have, the size dog that you have, what you can be feeding them, what your budget is. Obviously, there are things that are so expensive, and if you have the money and you think that's the best, then you can go for that. But if not, then you don't have to. I just feel like now more than ever, what you're feeding your dog seems to be really popular in these different ideas, and educating yourself and figuring out what is best for you and your dog can definitely lead to a healthy lifestyle, especially if these foods can help your dog live a little bit longer.
Dogs are just like us. The diet is so important, and exercise is so important. And then, of course, all the little brain teasers and things, particularly for Holly, but I think all dogs, when you're out walking, don't just, continue to push them along, let them sniff. That's really good for their brain. So they kind of need all three. All the different stimulation for them is going to make them the happiest and healthiest. Okay, next question. Do you have any upcoming events, promotions, or initiatives that listeners should know about in 2024?
I feel like I already spilled the beans. Obviously,
you did.
We have lots of new products that have to do with puzzles and nose work and giving you an easier lifestyle that helps tire your dog out and give them a better life. So we have lots of new products coming in the next few months. At first I was like, I don't really have anything to spill, but really we've been working hard on these. And then we launched our walk bags last year. It has been so much fun to have a product that can also change your life. It makes your life easier. If you're fumbling around with your phone and your keys and you just have to tuck them in your waistband, and then your dog's running and then it's going to slip out. It's just not as fun. If you can just have the walk bag, it's one easy thing. It slides on your shoulder. It makes your life so much easier. You don't even think that a bag could change your life, and it does. And so also having the easy access to the poop bags, you don't have to open up your bag, and then having the treat pouch if you want to clip it onto the strap, and having the easy access to the things that you need while you're out and about. I just feel like it literally is life-changing. And so that, again, launched in 2023. We have our 2 colors, the black and the ivory, and the 3 different straps. So we are going to be bringing a new color of the walk bag and then 3 new straps as well. So I'm very excited for that.
I'm going to spill the beans on my favorite thing.
What?
The lick mats coming.
Yes.
The lick mats have been literally game-changing, life-changing for us and for the dogs. As you know, Holly, super, super high energy, and it is literally all it takes is freezing some peanut butter. Well, Danielle really makes them up, so she has all the like different recipes, but freezing those, putting them down, and that is going to occupy Holly and make her so happy for 30 minutes. And we're bringing a bunch of new colors.
Yeah, lots of new spring colors. I'm excited for that. Also, if you are not freezing your lick mats, they last way longer. And for me, it's almost kind of like a meal prep for my dogs. If I just make a few lick mats at once and then I can put them in the freezer, it's much easier because when you have to freeze it, you have to think ahead. So if you can just do it one time and have a few in there, it's really nice. So I like having more than one lick mat, and I absolutely love that you can throw them in the dishwasher. If you don't have a dishwasher, I'm very sorry. You can hand wash them, but it makes it so easy just to throw it in the dishwasher.
What's the hack? Do you stack them with parchment paper in between?
Yes, Nick knows my little hack. Because they have the suction cups on the bottom, I don't like when it sticks to my freezer, like to the bottom of it. So I like sticking either parchment paper or aluminum foil to keep them separated and not stick to anything. But then I obviously love the suctions for when I'm giving it to the dogs, because then they're not moving around the house. That's my biggest flaw in the topple feeder, is that they are like knocking it around the house, and it drives me nuts. So maybe I need to look for a topple feeder that has like a stand or something. But yeah, lick mats, life-changing. We got new ones coming. We also have a new type of basically a lick mat. So that's very exciting as well.
There's always fun new things coming, and 2024 is going to be no different. I'm super excited for this year.
And if you guys have any recommendations, product ideas, if you've seen something somewhere else and you're like, oh, y'all would love to have this, let me know. We love taking any advice or feedback. Or if there's something we have that you don't like or wanted to change, let us know as well. Any feedback is very helpful from people who use and have feedback for us.
Okay, this next question is one of my favorite. Can you share some heartwarming or funny moments you've experienced while working with dogs and their owners?
We have a story from the very beginning. It probably was the first year we were in business. We used to attend the local artisan market and sell our bandanas at a table. We have not done that in a long time, but it was so fun because you got to meet so many people. And one time a lady was walking around to all the tables. She came to us and she goes, oh, but I don't have a dog. And we were just talking for a long time. She leaves the table. She goes to the local shelter, rescued a dog, and then she came back and bought stuff from us for the dog. And I mean, obviously my first fear was like, wait, are you ready to care for this dog? But after talking to her for a really long time, like, it was not spontaneous. Like, she was a dog woman. Her dogs had all passed away. She wanted a new dog, and it was just the right time, right place, the right conversation to inspire her to go do it right then. And it was so cool that we were the reason she went and rescued a dog, that she came back and told us her story, and then she chose to support our business at the same time.
Yeah, I'll literally never forget that. That was so cool. One of mine is, so if you know, dogs are the most popular animals that our bandanas are on. Then probably cats. We've also done gerbils and a goat named Comet.
Comet was one of my favorites. I absolutely love seeing a goat in our bandanas. I never thought it would happen. I'm still waiting on a few more animals. I think a chicken would be really cute.
A chicken.
Maybe a chinchilla. If anyone has one, please. You would make my dreams. But I love seeing all the different animals. I think it's really fun. Some more heartwarming stories. I feel like it is so cool when someone messages me saying that they started their business because of us. And I just never thought that we would be the reason that someone did something so life-changing to their life, and that we could be the inspiration for that. It's just so crazy that who knew that putting this content out there and starting this business would affect other people's lives in that way.
Yeah, that's probably one of the most rewarding things. That and being part of like so many like special moments. One of our best selling bandanas of all time is like the wedding bandana, as well as like pregnancy announcements, things like that. Just being parts of those moments in people's lives, that's so special seeing those photos and you're like, I'm part of that. And also the dog birthday stuff too. I love that.
A lot of the embroidery brings people messaging us saying like that this gift was really special because it was in memory of their dog or their best friend's dog. Just things like that these pieces that we're creating mean so much to people. All of those just make my day and are the reason that we keep doing what we're doing.
Okay, this next question is very good. How do you balance your personal lives with the demands of running a
Especially because it's a social media business and our phone is in our pocket or palm of our hand all the time. So every time I go on Instagram, I'm reading the DMs, whether it's here or there, anywhere, and I'm constantly doing it. So when people ask how many hours I work, it's like literally all the time. But
you take a break to work out and to eat every day.
Yeah, I was gonna say the balance is definitely the workout. That's my 1 hour of me time away from it and not really thinking about it. If I'm working out hard enough, I don't really think about anything. And cooking, but sometimes on the weekends we'll try to find something. Like the hiking really allowed us to not look at our phones and step back in that way. But even on the weekends, like at home, we are checking our phones, our emails, we're coming up with new ideas. Nick and I live together, so we're constantly talking about new ideas or how we could make things better. Even over dinner, I feel like it's always our topic of conversation, especially because you want to do better, you want to make people happy, and so you're constantly trying to strive for the best that you can be. So it just never ends.
Yeah, I really believe in like phases of life, and right now our phase of life is we just are not balanced. We are very focused on the business, but the good thing is we've chosen that, and I think we enjoy it. And so at least I know that I do. Do you enjoy it, Dani?
What would we talk about if we didn't have this?
I don't know. There's lots of things that we talk about.
Yeah.
But we both really enjoy business.
We definitely do. And yeah, that's why we've made it our whole life, because we're passionate about it. We think that it is the best thing for us, and we love our dogs and we love the Tails Up Pup community, and it's what makes us happy, and that's why we do it.
And I feel like we're both very bored when we're like trying to like focus on trying to do something else and not think about it. We're like, let's just do something that we like, which is run the business.
Sometimes I think about what other people do who work like a somewhat traditional 9-to-5 type of job. When they go home, like, what do they do? Because like we're constantly working. So I'm like, what do they do? Do they get bored? Like, I don't know. I always wonder what people do.
People probably have hobbies.
Like, what kind of hobbies?
I don't know, like going to play some type of sport, going to hang out with friends, reading. You know, honestly,
Yeah, reading.
The one thing that I do think is I feel like a lot of people that I know, they end up sitting down and watching a lot of TV or Netflix.
Oh, for sure. You're right. Yep. Lots of TV.
And so while there's nothing wrong with that, I'm not saying that there's anything bad. But for us, we get bored doing that, and we'd rather be doing something else. Sometimes we do need to take a break, and we had like a really good week off at Christmas. We didn't work that much, and that was really nice, and we do need those resets. But I feel like week to week, we're attacking. We're after it. Okay, the next question is a inventory question. It's how much fabric do you know how to buy, or just, in general items to buy when you're trying to buy inventory?
Projecting inventory buying is definitely the hardest part of my job. And looking back, it's funny because that's the job title that I wanted before starting a business. I wanted to be a buyer for like Nordstrom or like some kind of clothing brand. And so now I am the buyer for my own company. And that is the hardest thing, especially when it's your own money at the tip of your fingers and you're having to spend it. You want to make sure you're spending it right and that you're not wasting it, because if you invest into a product and it doesn't sell, then you essentially wasted money because you spent your money and now no one wants to buy it to make your money back. So it is a very scary and hard, but I feel like we've learned over time, and you sometimes make mistakes, but you just learn as you go. And we try to buy the least that we have to. A lot of companies make you bulk buy units. So if we're trying a new product, for example, like the lick mat, instead of buying 1,000, we might try to negotiate down to 500 or 300, whatever it may be, so that we aren't investing more. Because if we've never sold it before, how do we know we would sell 1,000? We have all these marketing plans and business ideas on how we could do it, but until you do it, you just don't know, and you can't be 100% confident. So it's very hard. Buying fabric is a little bit easier for us because we have been doing dog bandanas for 5 years now. So we know pretty well how much bandanas we can get out of a yard, how many yards we can get per season, like those type of things. So the answer to the question, how much fabric do we buy? It just depends on how long the season is. So like, for example, St. Patrick's Day is like a month long that you can sell, where like spring is like 4 months that you can sell. So the amount of yardage is going to be super different. And then also, how many patterns are we bringing for that collection in that season? Because if we're going to bring 20 spring patterns, then we'll probably get less yardage of each because there's so many patterns to choose from. And if there's 5 patterns to choose from, you probably buy more yardage because there's only 5 patterns to choose from. So it just depends on all of the different moving parts that are happening. But I would say it's anywhere between 5 and 20 yards at one given time before you restock. And yeah.
One thing that has been very helpful, and you mentioned this briefly, is the fact that we've now been in business for over 5 years. So looking back at your previous seasons, that is going to be a very good indicator of roughly the amount of, this goes for any item, not just bandanas, roughly how many you're going to be able to sell. Where that doesn't hold true, like Danielle said, is a brand new product. And what we do for that is we try to buy the smallest amount to test it out.
You have to be mindful if if it's a new year and you've already done that season before and you're bringing back the same exact product, how many new people are going to be there and how many people are going to want to buy something new because they already have that one. For example, right now we are dealing with Easter, and specifically Easter baskets. Now we've sold the same Easter baskets for at least 2 years now. So the question was, do we bring the same Easter basket back and hope that there's enough new people who want them, or do we bring a new Easter basket and hope that anyone might want it? And I went with a new Easter basket because it was so cute. I was like, I for sure want this, and I think other people are going to want it. It looks different. It's new and it's exciting. So we went with the new Easter basket this year. But then the sad part is all the photos of the old Easter baskets won't get used this year.
Yeah, it's really hard to decide when to kind of kill a bestseller and bring something new versus to just continue to bring the same thing that's a bestseller every year.
Especially if it's a staple, like all of our Dog Mom Varsity sweatshirts, we keep those in lots of colors, but then sometimes we'll bring a new color. And so it's just finding, if something phases out and no one's buying the purple one anymore, then we would be like, okay, maybe we should just stop selling the purple one and bring a pink one, or things like that. You just have to look at what people are buying, what people are liking, and making decisions moving forward.
All right, Danny, you ready to go on the hot seat?
Oh, no. What is it?
What is your favorite and least favorite part of the job?
That is a hard one.
I got my favorite part.
I think I've already said my favorite part a million times, and even in this podcast, is the community aspect and meeting these people that I wouldn't have known in any other aspect other than having this business. I think it's really cool that we make an impact on someone's life, that someone might have a lasting memory with their dog using a product that we have. Maybe we inspired someone to start their business. Maybe we inspired someone to go rescue a dog. All of those things are so cool. And it's I never thought that I could be that person for someone, and to know that I am is very, very cool. And I definitely don't take it for granted. And I met some of my best friends through Tails Up Pup. And I continue to look for new friends because I don't have that many friends here in Georgia, and I'm okay with that because I have these virtual friends. And I just think it's really cool that we all have this common interest in our dogs and dressing them up and having fun things for them. And definitely the community aspect is my favorite part.
My favorite part, a little sappy, working with you, Danny.
Aw, you don't get tired of me?
No.
What is your favorite part about working with me? Hype me up.
My
While we're
favorite part,
here.
I think that I just get to like do like, I don't know what the best way to say this is. I get to do what I want to every day with the person that I want to do it with.
A common question is, am I the boss?
I think the best way to answer that is Danielle and I both have like spheres of like expertise and influence that we like kind of defer to the other one. So like for marketing things, social media, that type of stuff, or like product decisions, that's going to be Dani. For me, I'm going to do like the finance, the, business organization, that type of stuff. So if it's a decision within my sphere, then I think, Danielle's going to let me make that decision, and I'll, and that'll be fine. If it's in the marketing side or Danielle's sphere, then she's going to make the decision. I feel like we're both bosses.
I agree. And for a while, I was coming up with the new products, new designs, and things like that. And I still definitely am the one designing most of the dog bandanas. But over time, you have gained knowledge on new products and new ideas. So now it's really more balanced in that aspect even as well.
My least favorite part of the job is all the mundane things like taxes and that type of stuff.
I would say my least favorite thing when we had a ton of employees was just managing a bunch of different people, because it was very hard. People have different personalities and different schedules and different preferences on the temperature of the building and like what pens they're using. And like, it's just like little things like that is so hard to manage a bunch of different people. And so that was probably one of my least favorite things. And I just don't have much knowledge on doing it. So I was kind of learning on the job. And then spending money definitely is my least favorite, because it's so risky and it's sad to swipe your card.
Yeah, a pro and con is, running a business has so many great things, whatever, but obviously like the stress, particularly financial stress, you're literally swiping a card, and that is going to, if it's a good decision, then it's going to, be great for you. If it's a bad decision, it literally is going to affect your paycheck. And so that part just, makes running a business very stressful at times. Well, that wraps up all of the questions. This was so fun. Do you have any closing thoughts, Dani?
I don't. I feel like it's so cool that, we've come a long way. We have this amazing community, and that, I don't know, it's very cool. I feel like answering all these questions really makes you look back and be grateful for where you are today.
Yeah, I love all of you, because it blows my mind that there's people out there that are actually interested and want to even ask these types of questions of us. So very grateful for that.
And listen to a podcast of us. Like, that is so cool. Thank you for listening. If you are here, if you're watching, thank you so much.
We love all of you.
And we cannot wait to see you guys back for the next podcast episode. So we'll see you next Thursday.
Bye.
Bye.